Alright, Mom. You are watching episode 1 of my video blog thingy. First order of business on the agenda, I feel, is this secret panel in Infinite Crisis. That's right. All these 7 books right here, holding my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. All 7. Somewhere in these books, there is a secret panel in which Superboy Prime tries to destroy the Marvel Universe. And he successfully either succeeds or fails. I guess it picks up in Secret Invasion. I first heard about this in a chat room that I went to. That got me thinking about the first book, Crisis on Infinite Earths. This book right here. The first book that was based on a general crisis theory or idea. Had the general crisis idea to it. Now, there is another hidden message in this that says that tells you, the viewer, about the future of the DC Comics and what they felt was supposed to happen to DC Comics in general. And it ends with tomorrow being better than today and yada 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 with the Psycho Pirate. Now, getting back to Infinite Crisis. In Infinite Crisis, there is supposedly the character Superboy Prime, supposedly, quote unquote, cusses up a storm. In case you're wondering what I mean by this, the comic book editors use replacement words for cuss words as indicated by the comic code, which I learned about through the movie Comic Books Declassified. Really good documentary. You all should watch it. Anyway, in the documentary, they clearly indicate that there was a governing body, or is a governing body. You can look at any one of your comic books and see there is something called the comic code set up to prevent things like the infamous Batman and Robin incident, where Batman and Robin, Batgirl cusses. And so, to prevent that, they put in little words like what they did with Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime, of course, for anyone who does not know, is Clark from a parallel timeline called Earth Prime. Earth Prime is set up as the only Earth without superheroes. Our Earth. For anyone who did not actually read this book. So, long story short, he ends up being one of the only survivors in this book. In this book or any of the other books. He ends up being one of the only survivors of the multi-universe. He ends up stuck in this heaven-hell thing. With Alexander Luthor. And Lois Lane, and he ends up going crazy, killing Superboy. Good. And in the process, he's pissed. And he cusses up a storm. And also, if you don't believe me about the comic book code's work in DC and Marvel books, just look at 1970s Batman. In 1970s Batman, these replacement words are used frequently. Back when Frank Miller was writing. Batman basically goes through 4 phases. Good Batman, that's not paranoid. Batman where he's sorta crazy. Batman where he's only a little bit crazy. And it all culminates in this book when he creates Brother Eye. Brother Eye, of course, being the computer that he creates that tries to kill everybody. Mom, I can't answer you. Fine, no, it's okay. So, what ends up happening to Superboy Prime is he ends up attacking the DC Comics offices. In that, he ends up dying or whatever. Anyway, again, really good story. The reason I bring this all up is because of the DC comic books relaunch. And now the only survivor from both of these books is Firestorm. The only successful survivor is Firestorm. And he will be either praised by DC Comics or not praised. I don't know. My point I wanted to get across, though, was that before all the relaunch, I want everyone to know about this code. But I feel not enough people know about this code that's out there. It raises a lot of things in our society today, but it also informs you, the reader, of what the authors know, that the government doesn't tell them. The government does not inform them of at that time what want you to be informed of at that time. I apologize. This is my first time doing this. Yeah. I think it's really fascinating if you look into it. code now. I'm not sure if there is a code now, or if the war between the two companies is continuing. I know that comic books tried to progressively move society forward using titles like Watchmen, like this. To get the government to say on certain issues. That's why I believe there will eventually be that Decompose is right, and that there will eventually be a Watchmen too. I myself have a decent majority of stuff written on the Watchmen. A decent majority of stuff written on the Watchmen, but that will have to wait for another time. I just feel, as an avid reader, there will be a Watchmen too. To deny the possibility that Seymour could be Rorschach's son is denying everything that could be. But or denying that the angle I come from, that Seymour could have been like the precursor to Superboy Prime. But to deny that is to deny that DC is incredibly clever. Is to deny that the comic code is that complex. I mean, they've done it with Superboy Prime. They've said that he was a reader of the comic books. They had him openly attack the offices of DC Comics. And to say that Seymour couldn't receive that is denying a great possibility that denying a great story its true potential. Anyway, I'm Bob. Thanks for listening. I'm Bob. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your time. Hope you enjoy this. This is all. There's probably going to be many more videos to come. Videos about my ideas for the JLA Avengers crossover. Watchmen 2 and other things like that. Every click on this, I am considering a click that they'd like to see my JLA Avengers crossover at one time or another. Mother? Mom! I'm done. Stop it.